So hello fellow YouTubers, this is Bess Boomer back with you. Still up in Prescott National Forest, so just going to do a walk and talk. Just if you like me, go ahead and like and subscribe, and or consider subscribing. I'd sure appreciate it. But hope you like this video. It's about the victim stance, and I've talked about victimhood before. Just a quick shout out. I just have to mention this because I've been watching him on Instagram. Leslie Jordan, if you haven't caught him on Instagram, look him up because he is one of the most charming, cutest, funniest guys I have heard in a while. I hadn't heard of him, but I saw him mentioned in People magazine. And my daughter also started watching him too. So just a quick shout out, although he needs no recommendation, believe me. So this video today is on 7 signs that you might be taking the victim stance. I'm very familiar with this topic because as a juvenile probation officer, this came up a lot. It's one of the most common thinking errors, also very common thinking error of criminals. But there are people out there who this applies to that aren't necessarily criminals. The first one, if you feel powerless, unable to solve a problem or cope with a problem, or you blame others for your situation, likely you see yourself as a victim. You're taking that victim stance. Number 2, if you see problems as catastrophes, a thing you can do is always ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And generally, if you can cope with that worst thing, you're going to be able to cope with whatever comes your way. But it's helpful not to always think the worst is going to happen. It's a lot of wasted worry. And usually, it doesn't happen. The worst doesn't happen. So that's number 2. If you see yourself thinking that way. Number 3, if you think others are purposely trying to hurt you. You think people are out to get you. That they have malicious intentions when it's really not even there. And as I've said before, some people just look for a slight. Okay? They'll come up with something to be offended about when there is really nothing to be offended about. Or 99% of people would not be offended. But if you're looking for that, you can find it, almost anywhere. So that's a really good sign of you're one of those people who sees themselves as a victim. 4, if you believe that you alone are targeted for mistreatment. If you have a group of people and, they all get something and you don't get it, you feel like you've been singled out and you were just put on this earth, seems like, to be mistreated. It's a woe is me kind of attitude. Believe me, there are a lot of people like that. That's exactly how they see themselves. So let's go on. Number 4, and these are all variable. I mean, you can probably come up with different ones from different sources, but these are ones that I did see often. So you hold tightly to your thoughts and feelings related to be a victim. Like, don't let anybody confuse me with any facts. Don't you tell me I have any control. This is out of control. So that's another indicator that maybe you see yourself as a victim, and nobody's going to talk you out of it. And you know why? It's because being that victim, it's beneficial to you. You're getting something out of it. You're getting, sympathy, and you're getting what you want sometimes. You're getting back at somebody else. There's all kinds of things that you might be getting out of it. Think about that, and I always said if more than one person tells you the very same thing, maybe you ought to listen to them. I'm walking now on a very rolling hill kind of road in the middle of the forest. And this is a mile-high city, so the oxygen level is much lower than what I'm used to. Good exercise, but kind of gets me a little out of breath. So bear with me. So the last one, as a victim, you feel compelled to keep painful memories alive. You don't ever forgive anybody. You choose to wallow in it. It's called self-pity. A lot of people like that. It's easy, very easy to do. Don't take any action to better your circumstances. Instead, be able to blame everybody else. That's real easy to do. Then, who's going to be surprised when you don't make anything of yourself? As long as you can blame somebody else, that's the way to go in your mind. And you really like getting sympathy from others. And I got to say, that's a good feeling sometimes. You want people to love you and have empathy for you. That's a good thing. But don't wallow in it, and don't take advantage of somebody's good nature, caring nature, especially when, what's happening to you, you have brought on yourself. I had an older brother who exhibited a lot of these characteristics, and he alienated all of his family except my sister and me. And I recognized some of these things, that he always saw himself as a victim, and he was always self-pitying himself. He died an alcoholic. I loved him and had contact with him until the day he died. But some of those thinking errors were very apparent with him. And although he had had some therapy, and I do believe that therapy can help you if you buy into it and stick with it. I don't know, as he ever really bought into it, because he was pretty smart in a lot of ways, and stuck in his ways. And I don't think he really truly wanted to change. But the last one, this is a common one. This says, you believe others are more fortunate than you, and you resent those who are more fortunate than you. If you see them as more successful and they have more money. And this is also a pretty common stance. And I've also seen this going on with my brother. You had to be careful, what you said around him. And it's really, really too bad. It cuts off a lot of communication with others. I'm sure, like I say, there's many, many characteristics of the victim stance, and I'm sure you've seen some of them in people you know. The sense of entitlement, selfishness. They're very defensive. They're unadventurous. This is kind of interesting. They're unadventurous because they exaggerate the possible negative outcomes from whatever action, they're considering. And it's a really pessimistic, negative outlook on life, and it really stops you from doing a lot of things that maybe you could be successful at, maybe you could enjoy, but you're going to catastrophize it to the point where You know, this could happen. Very small odds, but it could happen. And by God, I'd be the one it happened to, because everything happens to me. Because I'm the victim. You know, that's the victim stance. It's crippling to some people, and it's sad, but it's common. And I saw it probably every day with one kid or another, but adults also. And like I say, it's one of the most common thinking errors with criminals. So you do get to know that quite well when you work with that population. And it's sad. I got to turn just a moment. I don't know if you can see it, but a deer just crossed the road behind me. I so miss the deer from Iowa. We've seen so many up in this forest, but back in Surprise, you never see a deer. So it's beautiful here. Great place to walk, although, like I say, the air is thin. So, as I said before, you can get helped with therapy. But buy into it and know that there are people, very skilled therapists. You got to find the right one who can help you change your way of thinking, and that helps you, you know, proceed forward with a more optimistic point of view and feeling more that you have some control over your life. Because if you feel you have no control, that's a huge cause of stress that then affects every aspect of your body, really. All the studies they've done on stress. So anyway, that's kind of, I digress a second here. So that's it about victimhood. Hope you found it interesting. And please share it with someone, and consider subscribing. I'd sure appreciate that. I'm Best Boomer. I try to download on Mondays and on Thursdays. So I'll see you next time, and please take care of yourself out there with everything that's going on. Okay, bye-bye.